Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from group 3 are going to present about chloroform. So before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Nur Alisa binti Ali and this is the list name of our group members. Okay, first, let's see the chemical structure of the chloroform. Chloroform is an organic compound which also known as trichloromethane, CHCl3. As we can see here, chloroform have 3 molecules of chlorine and 1 molecule of methane. So that's why it's called as trichloromethane. Okay. Next, let's see the properties of the chloroform. The physical properties of the chloroform are it colorless liquid in pure state and have sweet smelling. It's denser than water. It's also insoluble in water but soluble in most organic solvent. The freezing point and boiling point of the chloroform are negative 63 degrees Celsius and 61 degrees Celsius. It is non-flammable liquid. However, the vapor of the chloroform burn with green flame. Okay. Next, the chemical properties of the chloroform are chloroform oxidizes in air in presence of sunlight to form poisonous compound called phosgene. Chloroform reduced to dichloromethane in acidic and neutral medium. It hydrolyzes into sodium formate when boiling with aqueous natrium hydroxide. And the last one, it forms war gas or tear gas called chloropicrin when heating with concentrated nitric acid. So that's all from me. Then I will pass for the next part to Suhaila. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nur Suhaila, will be presenting about the route of exposure of chloroform. Okay, the exposure of chloroform may occur via three routes, which are inhalation, ingestion, and also dermal contact. Okay, we go on the inhalation. Okay, inhalation can occur when people get exposure from this route when they inhale the air that contaminated with the chloroform. How can this chemical get into our environment? Okay, there are two processes that involve in releasing the chloroform in our environment, which are direct process and also indirect process. These two processes occur due to the vitality properties of the chloroform, where it is oxidized in the air with the presence of sunlight. Okay, for the indirect process, it is a process of releasing a chloroform from the reaction of chlorine with other organic compounds. So, the indirect process usually occur in activities such as water chlorination, paper bleaching with chlorine, municipal water waste treatment plants, chemical manufacturing plants, waste incineration, and also the halogenation of carbon tetrachloride by the bacteria in the soil. But for the direct process is a releasing of chloroform in the environment directly from its production or storage, transmission, or use of this chloroform. Okay. These two processes will release the chloroform in the environment, and then we will inhale this and leads to the exposure of chloroform. And then we move to the next route of exposure, which is the ingestion. Okay, ingestion may occur accidentally when someone takes food, drinks, or beverage that are contaminated with this chloroform. As a normal people, we will not simply take this chemical because we already know that this chemical is really dangerous. Okay, mostly the ingestion of the chloroform occurs when someone drink a water from that water that is contaminated with the chloroform. Then how can this chloroform present in that water? It presents due to the process of water chlorination product. So the chloroform is a product from the water chlorination process. Okay, the injection of chloroform also occurs when it is used as anesthetic in the surgery, but the use of this anesthetic has been banned in most of the countries uh, where it can cause a serious health risk. Right? And then, but chloroform is still being used in the dental procedure and also pharmaceutical product, but in very small amount. Okay, and then we move to the next route of exposure, which is a dermal contact. How can the exposure through dermal contacts occur? Usually, this exposure of chloroform occurs when it is being absorbed across the skin or someone have a prolonged exposure with this chemical or this chemical is splashed in the eyes. So basically, the chloroform is widely used in the pesticide formulation, fire extinguishing, and also rubber industry. Okay, if someone who handle with this resources of the chloroform, they will easily get an exposure with this chloroform. And then volatilization from hot water in shower and a swimming pool can also cause a dermal contact when someone have a bath or swim in this swimming pool. Okay, so they can get a dermal contact with the chloroform inside the hot water. Okay, next, the dermal contact also can happen when someone works at near facilities that manufacture chloroform, such as drinking water plants, wastewater treatment plants, and also pulp and paper plants. So these people will get a prolonged exposure with chloroform. So then uh, they will later on will develop a serious health problem. Okay, in conclusion, all of these route of exposure uh, may lead to the poisoning of chloroform if the exposure is in a long term or long period. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here I'm gonna explain about the clinical effect of the chloroform poisoning. The chloroform poisoning can occur due to single exposure and repeated exposure. For the single exposure, the main target organ are CNS and liver, while for the repeated exposure, the target organ are CNS and hepatic. For the single exposure, the symptoms depend upon the concentration absorbed and the route of exposure. As we all know, chloroform is used as anesthesia. Exposure to 40,000 parts per million of chloroform for several minutes can be lethal to a person, while exposed to 920 parts per million of chloroform can cause dizziness and vertigo. Chloroform can cause symptoms of illness at 2,400 and 2,490 milligram per cubic and can cause discomfort at level below 249 milligram per cubic of chloroform. Chloroform also can cause progressive central nervous system depression. The initial symptoms include excitement, nausea, and vomiting, followed by ataxia, dizziness, drowsiness, convulsion, and coma. Some lead to respiratory failure and cause sudden death. Inhalation of concentrated chloroform vapor cause irritation of exposed mucous membrane, including the nose, throat, and shortness of breath. Ingestion of chloroform, which include gastrointestinal irritation with abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Skin exposure cause irritation and redness at the site of contact, especially the sensitive area such as eyelid and neck. For the repeated exposure, usually involve worker. Inhalation of chloroform for 1 to 4 years or more can cause hepatomegaly, hepatitis, acute thirst, gastrointestinal distress, frequent and scalding urination, lack of concentration, depression, and irritability. Ingestion of cough mixture containing 1.6 to 2.6 of chloroform daily for 10 years can cause hepatitis and nephrosis. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Amira and will explain about the mechanism of the chloroform. Chloroform is a highly toxic chemical, and it is readily absorbed through our lungs, gastrointestinal tract, and skin. Then the chloroform will be distributed throughout the body. High concentration of the chloroform can be found in the adipose tissue, brain, liver, kidneys, adrenals, and blood. And the chloroform-induced toxicity occur due to the cytochrome P450 mediated bioactivation to reactive metabolites. Chloroform will be metabolized through two pathways, which is oxidative or reductive, and mainly via the oxidative pathway. Okay, this is the pathway. For reductive pathway, the chloroform will be reduced to dichloromethyl radical, which is CHCl2, and it is extremely reactive. Then the CHCl2 will form covalent adducts with microsomal enzyme and fatty acid tails of phospholipids. The adducts will cause loss of microsomal activity and lipid peroxidation. The CHCl2 also can abstract H atom from biological environment to form dichloromethane, CH2Cl2. Then in the oxidative pathway, the chloroform will be oxidized by the renal cytochrome P450 isoenzymes such as CYP2E1 and form trichloromethanol, CCl3OH. Then the trichloromethanol will spontaneously dehydrochlorinate and form the phosgene, which is COCl2. Then the COCl2 will continue to hydrolyze to form HCl and CO2. COCl2 also can react with cellular macromolecules and form covalent adduct. Then the adducts will interfere with the molecular function and cause loss of cellular function and cell death. This is the pathway. Okay, next, the chloroform can be excreted by the lungs, whether in unchanged form and in the form of metabolites, which is CO2. Other than that, it also can be excreted via the liver and the kidney. In a study, it is said that 90% of an oral dose was exhaled as a chloroform or carbon dioxide, and less than 0.01% of the dose will be excreted in the urine. For toxicological mechanism, as we know, the chloroform is the highly cytotoxic compound, and due to its high lipid solubility, the chloroform will penetrate rapidly into the cells, lead to the cellular and tissue damage. The main effects of chloroform can be seen in the central nervous system and cardiac. And for cardiac, it can cause cardiac depression. The phosgene can covalently bind to the liver and kidney proteins and deplete the liver and kidneys glutathione, which will cause the hepatic and renal necrosis. The high concentration of the chloroform will cause the cardiac arrhythmias and cardiac arrest due to the sensitization of myocardium to epinephrine. In fatal cases, the postmortem examination show that fatty degenerative change in the liver, kidney, and heart. Thank you. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Amira. So I will continue this presentation with management of poisoning. The first management is first aid measure. First aid measure is something like action you have to do right after the incident. For example, you can wash your eyes, your mouth, or your skin with plenty of water. And also you can move your body to fresh air and loosen your tight clothes, for example, your necktie. However, we are not required to induce vomiting because it is dangerous to our body. Next, the general measure. General measure is something like performed by certified officer, for example, nurses, doctors, or even paramedics. So what they do is they check the consciousness of the patient, and if the patient is not conscious, so they will perform another procedure, for example, artificial respiration, ventilation, or even CPR, resuscitation. So in the professional measure, as far as we know, for the chloroform poisoning, it doesn't have a specific treatment for the poisoning. So what they do is they use other treatment for poisoning, for example, NAC and acetylcysteine that are being used in the paracetamol poisoning. We can also use methods which is GIT decontamination and other usual method or common method which are the intubation, dialysis support, and also IV fluid administration. So these are the picture for the activated charcoal that are being used in the GIT decontamination, and also the picture right below your your slide. As you can see, the nurses do the procedure for the GIT decontamination. So these are the picture. This is the picture for the mechanism of NAC. You can see that NAC can give effect in reducing viscosity of mucus secretion and also reducing the inflammation. And these two effects can give the N effect, which is improve our lung function, symptom control, and also reducing the exacerbation rate. That's all from us. Thank you for your attention. Have a very good day.